After losing his 4-year-old son Adam to a brain tumour in 2007, Benji Bennett was determined to keep his son's memory alive and encourage other parents to spend and cherish every moment possible with their own children.
Through a series of 7 books, Benji affectionately remembers his son Adam, who features as the main character. And just last month, his latest book, When You Were Born, picked up the Borgosh Energy 2013 Junior Children's Book of the Year. Benji joins us now. Benji, good morning.
Good morning.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I had the pleasure of interviewing you before you won the award and afterwards, and you really didn't think you were going to win, but you did say, because you won the first year out.
I won the first year.
And that meant a great deal to you, because maybe we should recap. We assume that everybody knows your story, but maybe some people don't. So maybe just tell us a little bit about Adam and what happened to him and why these books were inspired.
Well, it was all very sudden, and it was an undiagnosed brain tumour, and a lot of the people will know that, and all my Facebook people they're amazing as well, and the support that we've got. But because it was so sudden, immediately, and I always keep saying this, it was literally before we'd even left the hospital, I said, we have to do something about this. We have to make sure that every parent cherishes every moment, because, you know, it's happened so quick. So there was always 2 things about it. There was the message, which is spend as much time with your children, give them a massive big hug,
and tell them you love them
every single day. And then obviously there's the you know, trying to remember Adam. So when I write the books, I'm always hearing Adam and his voice, because I've very little video, no video of Adam talking. So when I'm writing the books, I can kind of hear him. So I think that's the magic that goes in, because it is literally a child's voice, and the way they talk is kind of how I write, and that's kind of, I think, what brings in the real magic into the book. So it's all Adam's magic.
So that was how it started.
Yeah.
And you probably never thought you'd be here 7 books in.
No, it's 7 books. When I wrote the first one, it was weird. I wrote an article for the Independent on Monday, and it was funny, as when you sit down and you actually write and you have time on your thoughts about the journey that we went through. And I was, you know, we printed a load of books. My family just thought I'd lost the plot. I had no experience in publishing, I had no idea what I was doing, but there was never any plan, there was no thought. It was just every minute this is what I'm going to do now.
Your family kind of looking at you thinking, he's grieving, this is just his thing, let him do it.
Yeah. It was funny. As I said, the first book, Before You Sleep, it was safely backed up in crumples of pieces of paper in my back pocket, and anybody would choose to listen to me then, what do you think of that? And what else are they going to say? It's really good.
Yeah, no one's going to critique that.
No one's going to go, as I'm kind of, you know, looking like, you know. And it's funny, you know, we can laugh now about it, but at the time, obviously, it was devastating. And I suppose that's really what we have done. We've brought so much laughter, and we think of what we have, not what we lost. We still have Adam in a kind of a different way.
Well, we met you very shortly after that, Benji, both yourself and your wife, and we saw up close and personal, as they say, just how raw the whole thing was. And we also saw how therapeutic it was and so cathartic, and it did. I remember the first time you were on the programme, I went home that day with the books, had talked to my wife, and all our kids got an extra hard squeeze that night. So if for that alone, that, you know, if everybody was watching that morning did that, then there was an awful lot of love floating around that night. Can I ask you about, I mean, I know you say there was no plan, and it has been kind of haphazard, but it is now a mini industry, and it is, you left your job. And so therefore it's what supports the family. So there must be a plan now. How do you go about evolving it?
It's funny, last year we tried to do more things, and you know, we did the jigsaw, and we did a deal with this kind of Molly Dolly, but I ended up getting totally distracted. And I just said, no, we're not ready for all that merchandising, because you kind of think, you know, you look at all these Gruffalos and you see jigsaws and everything. That's been going like 10 years, and it's all over the world, and it's a big publisher. I'm kind of, you know, on my own.
This is just you.
This is just me and Jackie.
They're also make-believe characters, Benji. They're not your son. Which puts a completely different twist on that. And that's got to be very hard.
It's, I mean, you know, you just do what you do. It's all about, we still don't plan too much, because, you know, after we lost Adam, you could only literally think of day by day, moment by moment. Do you know what I mean? So you don't think of the future. You just think of, can I just get through the next 5 minutes of having that knot in your stomach. And it's amazing how, as I wrote last week, it's just the ways, and now we have this lovely gentle tide lapping over the beach, and that's, and sometimes the tide goes out. I mean, there was a massive meltdown on Monday. I was away, I literally won the award, went straight over to England to promote, came back, was back with Jackie again, and we just took a moment to realise, and listen, the two of us were, so we had a massive emotion, and those emotion things, as painful as they are, they're very powerful, and you kind of feel better, exhausted, but feel better.
Kind of cathartic.
It is, yeah. They're important things to let yourself go every now and then.
The books, for anybody who isn't familiar with them, the inherent message is to enable parents to tell their children they love them. Because for a lot of parents it's an easy thing to say, but for some parents it's not such an easy thing to say the words I love you, because maybe some people never heard it themselves, so it's difficult for them to say it. And that's why these books are so great, because the books actually use the words.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's written, so you're reading a book, and the way I look at it is it's just what the child hears, and what I'm trying to do is just to create we all scream at the kids and we're all stressed and run around. Don't worry, I'm not perfect myself. I have those moments as well. And every time, even when Robbie makes a mistake in his homework, he gets his rubber and he rubs it out, and all the mess that he's made is gone, and he makes it better again. And that's what the bedtime story for me is all about. It's just about, no matter what happened during the day, the bedtime story and saying I love you is that little rubber that just rubs everything out. Everything is perfect, and the kids go to sleep happy.
Let's talk about when you were born, because this isn't, I mean it is what it is on one level, but it's also, there's a philosophical core to this, which will, it might, I won't say be uncomfortable for some parents, but it is, you're posing profound questions.
Yes, it's been inspired by a number of things. Obviously, Adam and his message is at the core. I had a beautiful chat with Robbie on holidays, talking about the sun, moon and stars and space and all the rest. And he said, "Why do you love me so much?" And I said, "But Robbie, you chose me to be your dad, and that's why I love you so much." So that was a simple beginnings.
How did he respond to that? What age is Robbie now?
Robbie's 7.
Robbie's 7. So when you said that to him, how did he respond?
He just said, Robbie's just so funny. I know. He's like, he's one of these people you shove onto X Factor who can't sing and thinks he's going to take over the world. He has absolutely no inhibitions. So, and then there was a big hug, and it was nice. And
what does Adam mean to him? Because obviously he wouldn't have known him, but obviously he looms large in your life.
He's just, Adam is still part of the family. Do you know what I mean?
So he's like the big brother that he has, but just isn't there.
Yeah, and Molly, who never met him, I love Adam. You know what I mean? So everybody kind of loves Adam, which is in our house, which is what the main thing, and the feedback that we've got from, I mean, some of the stories that we've had are they're incredibly touching. I mean, unbelievably so. When you're, so what Adam is giving to some parents who are going through some very difficult moments is quite.
But Mark is right. The concept of this book is quite deep.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's about children actively choosing their parents per se.
Well, one of the things, because we're out face to face so much, we're down at the RDS this week, and we see everybody and we chat to them and we cry with them and we hug them. And what's occurred to me as well is that there are so many people who you would not believe the pain that they're going through. Their children are here, but their children aren't. They've had an accident, or, there's something, and they seem to be the only parents, in my view, that are actually equipped to be able to deal and love and care for their children. So it is something that I do have a belief in, that, the very special children of the world are choosing the parents, because it's amazing the strength that they have.
Is the point of this is that you think that whoever is up there gives you the burden that you can carry, that your shoulders are broad enough to carry? That's interesting.
I genuinely believe that. I've always felt that Adam chose us to be his mum and dad, and he has this little message, and he came, he sprinkled his magic and he left. And he left poor me and Jackie to carry the can of what we have to do.
But his magic lives on in these beautiful books.
His magic lives on, and that's really, it's funny about, it's setting books and winning the awards, which was absolutely amazing. But it really is. I'm so passionate about creating that magical experience at bedtime for parents to share with their children.
They are some of the best memories you can have as a child, if your parents did read to you at night and tell you they loved you.
But you know what the older ones can do with a hug and a kind of a, do you know what, you're not half bad, come here, give us a hug.
Do you know what the funny thing is? The amount of people who say to me, what is the age group for the books? And I'm kind of going, okay, it depends on I always say from babies up to 8 years of age or whatever. But then like with the Before You Sleep and that one, and even the Christmas one, I said, any age. My funniest one is a very nice gentleman came in. I was doing a book signing down in Boots in Cork years ago. And he said, can I have that book? And I said, how old? Well, 30. Oh, is it for you? No, it's for my boyfriend. I want to read it to him. So it's for everybody. Do you know what I mean?
And of course,
and I just went, isn't that amazing? There's no boundaries with the book and that message, and that's really what it's about, you know.
And a percentage of the proceeds go to the Laura Lynn Foundation, which is to be commended because they do wonderful work altogether.
It's amazing what they do. And again, all the little children up in Laura Lynn have all chosen their parents, because any of the parents that I've met anywhere, are just extraordinary and they're amazing.
If you love someone,
that book is for all of
if you love someone, tell them.
That's it.
When You Were Born is the new book, but I would advocate getting the whole set as a gift because they are just beautiful Christmas presents and kids adore them. They love having them read.
And we have them in Duns. I'm doing a book, so I get around the country in Duns, which is great.
How can people find out where you're going to be and which Duns you're going to be
in? On Facebook and Adam's Cloud, I'll post it. I haven't posted it yet next week, but I'm in Duns, not this weekend, the following 2 weekends in Cork and Limerick and Dublin.
So
and then, of course, Adam's Cloud.
And they'll be doing in-store publicity themselves anyway. So
they'll be doing a bit, and then on the website I sign them all.
Benji, it is lovely to see you as always, and well done on the award. Happy Christmas indeed.
Thank you
very much. It's the first time we've said that.
Yeah.
Our first Happy Christmas.
And look at who we said it to.
Yeah.
Yes.
No better man.
Inspires us.